Live from our studios at Northridge in Accra, good evening, welcome to Newsnight. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Let's take a look at our top stories for tonight. Parliament's Privileges Committee postpones meeting with 3 MPs until after June 9, 2022. Member of Parliament for North Ton constituency Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa bemoans the number of appointees serving at the office of the presidency. He'll join me to tell us why. Insurance Commission urges motor insurance companies to collaborate with the Ghana National Bureau to ensure speedy processing and settlement of cross-border claims. And later on the international front, anti-government protesters and police clash near main government headquarters in the Armenian capital, Yerevan. Details are coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome to the program. Let's begin from the House of the Legislature as the Vice Chairman of the Privileges Committee in Parliament, Owusu Mensah Afrifa, has confirmed to Metro News that the committee will not meet the Asin North Central MP Kennedy Agyapong tomorrow, May 31, as scheduled. He explained that the committee would have to come up with a new calendar and modalities for meeting the 3 referred members of Parliament, Henry Quartey, Adwoa Safo, and Kennedy Agyapong.
Information available to Metro News indicates that the Privileges Committee of Parliament will not be able to meet the Asin Central MP, Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, tomorrow, May 31st, as has been scheduled for. Speaking to the Vice Chair of the committee, Mr. Akwesi Mensah Afrifa, indicates that the committee will have to meet and come up with a new date and modalities of meeting these 3 referred MPs. Speaking to Metro News, he indicated that the committee has no plans of meeting any of the 3 MPs until after 9th of June 2022. He also explained that the committee's attempt last Thursday to meet the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Mr. Henry Quartey, failed due to circumstances beyond the committee's control. This is Kwabena Metro TV reporting.
Away from Parliament, the Ghana Bar Association and the Law Society of Ghana have called on the government to hasten steps to arrest the killers of lawyer Richard Badombi, while the GBA has placed a 20,000 Ghana cedis reward for any information that will aid investigations. The Law Society Ghana is keen on following matters to the end.
The release on Monday, May 30, comes on the back of a gruesome murder of their learned colleague lawyer Richard Badombi by some unknown robbers while on his way from Accra to Drapa in the Upper West region. According to the statement issued by the Ghana Bar Association, the relevant security agencies should carry swift and thorough investigations into the incident to bring the perpetrator or the perpetrators of the heinous crime to book so the law can take its bite on them. Furtherance to this, the Ghana Bar Association assured an utmost protection of all persons living within the territorial borders of the Republic of Ghana, admonishing safety of all in their discharge of duties without the slightest feel of insecurity. To aid in the swiftest investigations on the matter, the Ghana Bar Association released an amount of 20,000 reward to any person who leads to the arrest of the criminals who shot the lawyer while driving on a highway to Drapa. Meanwhile, the Law Society of Ghana has expressed its unwavering support in the matter, pledging to follow investigation to the latter until justice is served. In their release, they also called on the Ghana Police Service to constantly update the public on every latest findings on the issue of murder.
So this is not the first time such an incident is happening. Let's go to our video wall where the Ghana Bar Association statement on rampant armed robbery and other violent crimes in the country has been stated. Now, the Ghana Bar Association is asking security agencies to carry out swift and thorough investigations The Ghana Bar Association offers a reward of 20,000 Ghana cedis to anyone who volunteers credible and legitimate information. Also, the GBA would like to assure its membership that the association is working to bring perpetrators to book. The association implores the security agencies to intensify activities and programs aimed at drastically reducing the crime rate in the country. The association further urges the security agencies to intensify the protection of all persons living within the territorial borders of the Republic of Ghana. Away from that, the Eastern Regional Police Command has intensified operations to arrest a gang of 6 armed robbers who shot dead 2 persons and robbed a mining facility at Asaman in the Eastern Region. The operation is led by the Eastern Regional Police Commander. The broad daylight robbery, which according to residents lasted about 11 minutes, saw the security man of the gold buying company, one Kenneth Ampim, shot dead. The 6 armed men made away with over $1 million Ghana cedis cash before shooting to death another man who confronted them. When Metro News got to the scene, dozens of residents and others had gathered at the premises of the gold buying company, assisting some personnel of the Ghana Police Service with investigations.
They are standing outside with guns and demanded for the money. The amount was about 1 million plus.
1 million Ghana cedis plus.
The security man,
They fatally shot our security man while they were crossing the road. They also shot another person dead. I saw 6 of the armed robbers. They were all not wearing masks. The language they were speaking indicates that they are Fulani men.
Some workers of the company who appeared traumatized spoke to Metro News.
I have never seen such a thing in real life before. I mostly see them in movies. I saw one of them in Jalabia. They were just shooting in the air and people were just running for their lives, hence unable to approach the scene.
The executive director of the company, Prince Kwame Asamoah, wants security agencies to up their game.
That is the system. We don't know unless we are praying that our security system will work on it so that they can get the perpetrators to book. And it's very sad. It's not easy that young guys should be forcing to work, but the other side will not force it. Like they just want to be free or robbing on those things. It's not good.
Away from that story, the Member of Parliament for North Ton, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has bemoaned the number of appointees serving at the office of the President. Describing a large number of presidential staffers as a dubious validity, the North Ton MP has called on the Council of State to come clear on the number of persons expected to occupy the office.
Section of Act 463 of the Presidential Office Act requires the President of the Republic to submit to Parliament an annual report containing information of the number of presidential staff employed at the office, the rank or grade of such staff and employees in the other public service assigned to the office. This appointment by some presidents over the years have raised some concerns over the ideal number to consider, which affect the list submitted to Parliament by President Akufo-Addo this year. Member of Parliament for North Ton, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has said some of the appointments are dubious and thus calling on the Council of State to give clarity on their role at the presidency. His concerns have, however, been referred to the Finance Committee to be considered.
Let's now go into the telephone lines for an interview with the Member of Parliament for North Ton, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Honourable, welcome to the show. How many staffers are the office of the presidency and how many more are expected to be added?
Well, good evening to you and to all distinguished viewers across the globe. So from the report we received last week after much struggle, you do know that Section 11 of the Presidential Office Act 1993 Act 463 requires every president to submit to Parliament within 3 months the full detail on all staff at the office of the president, the entire office of government machinery. Unfortunately, President Akufo-Addo has consistently violated the timelines. He has not kept within the stipulated period. That said, when you go through the content of the report, which was belatedly presented to Parliament last week, it makes for worrying reading. We see an increase in the number of staffing at all levels, that is the political appointees and the non-political appointees. We now have a total staff strength of 995, almost 1,000. The political appointees have also gone up to 337. Will you believe that? Now that is more than the number of members of parliament we have. Ghana has a 275-member parliament. And under the president, we have a whopping 337 political appointees. When you go through the breakdown of the political appointees, you see all kinds of amorphous and nebulous roles. We are seeing positions like a church relations manager. You wonder what that is, why we would need such an officer at the presidency when Ghana has a chieftaincy and religious affairs ministry to coordinate such matters. Why do we need a church relations manager? Why do we need a diaspora church mobilization officer? That is another, very strange title that we are seeing on the list. Then we also have somebody who describes himself as a youth ambassador for diaspora affairs. Why would the president be appointing a youth ambassador for diaspora affairs, considering all the functioning missions, diplomatic missions we have abroad? Ghana can boast of the finest diplomats, the finest, staff of the foreign service. So what really is this youth ambassador for diaspora affairs, going to achieve that our ambassadors, our high commissioners cannot achieve? Okay. So there are all of these challenges. And what is even more worrying is that if you look at the financial burden, you compare this list with 2020 and compare with the budget. In 2020, the budget revealed that for wages and salaries for the Office of Government Machinery, we're spending about 136 million. Now, with these amorphous appointments, the allocation for salaries for the Office of Government Machinery has gone up by a whopping 508%. Can you imagine? We've added about 686 million more to the salaries budget at the presidency.
Right. Well understood. Let me come in here. Since you're a member of parliament, do you think the number of persons working in the office of the president can be reduced, and through what means?
So my view is that if you look at best practice across the globe, what we are doing here is ridiculous. The White House, number 10. If you compare the size of our country, you compare even in terms of wealth, the size of the economy. What we are doing in Ghana is not protecting the public purse as the president promised to do. That is why I am advocating for an amendment to the Presidential Office Act so that we can place a cap so that a president would not go beyond a certain number that we can all debate, because we now have a situation where you have 337 political appointees at the presidency, far more than all the MPs you have in Ghana. Remember that all of these people are Article 71 office holders. They are treated as Article 71. So it's such a major drain on the finances. And this is an economy not doing well. We have a cost of living crisis. We can't pay national service personnel. We can't pay NAPCO workers. We cannot pay school feeding caterers. District assemblies in arrears. Parliament is owed. The government owes the National Health Insurance. The government owes District Assembly Common Fund, GET Fund. So you wonder what is going on. You can't meet your statutory obligations and you keep packing the presidency. This certainly cannot be allowed to continue.
Honorable,
That
so
is why.
okay.
That is why I have also called out the Council of State. If you read Section 4 of the Presidential Office Act, the President makes these appointments in consultation with the Council of State. So the question is the Council of State aware of this? Were they really consulted? And did they give their blessing to, this unholy, list and all of these amorphous and dubious titles that we are seeing in this list? Or is it the case that the Council of State objected, but the President ignored? Because, there's a recent Supreme Court decision that says that the Council of State's advice is not binding. If that is the case, we should know. The Council of State should let us know that their pieces of advice are being ignored. And then we know
Honorable,
that,
let me come in here. What number would you suggest that these staffers are reduced to?
Honestly, my brother, if we combine the non-political appointees and the political appointees, that is public servants, and then the political appointees, I do not think that, looking at the state of our economy, the size of our country, I think that maximum 400 is even a generous number for all the categories.
400.
A maximum of 400, I think, is so generous and is enough. That is 400 for every category, everybody. That is, if we have a cap at that number, I think that it should be more than enough. That is all the public servants, scholarship secretariats, the parks and gardens, all of them. And then the political appointees, honestly, after you've appointed ministers, really, you shouldn't have, I don't think that you need more than 50 political appointees at the presidency, so that we can spare resources and have concrete development. Look at the challenges that confront our country. We still have challenges with floods. We are not investing in infrastructure. We don't have adequate hospitals. We still have issues with water supply, pipe-borne water, education. And then we're spending all these, fantastic sums of money just paying wages and salaries. Article 71, office holders. It's really not sustainable, and we cannot achieve our development objectives if we continue on this trajectory.
Right. Honorable, before I let you go, now that the issue has been directed to the Finance Committee, do you believe a solid resolution will come out of it?
Yes, this time the Speaker of Parliament has asked that we take this report very seriously. He has even directed leadership of both sides of the House to join the Finance Committee in considering this report and to come out with far-reaching recommendations. So I'm quite optimistic that this time we will put out some very far-reaching recommendations, but the onus would then lie on the presidency to act on those recommendations. Failing which, I think that we should come together in a bipartisan approach, gather the courage and the muscle to probably amend the Presidential Office Act so we can make progress.
Thank you very much for speaking to us tonight, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. He is the Member of Parliament for North Chon constituency. This is Newsnight on Metro Television. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be back with more. Hello again. Let's talk politics. As pollster Ben Efson says, the governing New Patriotic Party should forget about winning the 2024 presidential elections after retaining Ashanti and Bono regional chairman of the party. According to him, voter apathy in these regions may increase due to cracks within the leadership skills of Bernard Mfibu-Esiako and Kwame Bafo.
Otherwise, the delegates there under normal circumstances, they will not reward a chairman who, under his watch, the MPP's percentage of win in Ashanti region dropped from 76% in 2016 to 71.6% in 2020. 2, the man claims he has 100 houses, but goes to hire offices for the party, defaults in rent payment, and the party is thrown out. They were so angry. But I'm sure you know what I'm referring to, that I can't repeat what happened on your network because of legal reasons. Certain things happened. And if the MPP is going to allow Wontumi to run the party like he did between 2016 and 2020, they should forget 2024. The man has to change his style of running the party in Ashanti region. There are allegations of money, huge sums of money allegedly changed hands. That is what changed the situation in Ashanti region. They were given to people to allegedly induce them to vote for Wontumi. I mean, can you imagine? Because when we did the research there were delegates who were angry about the way the party was being run. So if voting takes place and he wins with such a tidy margin, you must know something to. You think that the delegates there don't know that the party is being run down and they vote him back. What pushed them to vote him in?
Meanwhile, the chairman for the MPP Volta Regional Election Committee, Kujo Atta, has called on the rank and file of the party to stay united after the internal election if the party is really interested in breaking the eight.
According to the NPP's Volta Regional Election Committee chairman, one constituency, Ketu South, couldn't take part in the elections of the regional executives of the party due to some pending issues in court. However, they believe the general processes has been successful. He was quick to explain and apologize for the late start of the elections.
It is about the unity of the will, and so we are done with elections. Election forms part of party remobilization and reorganization, and so we are finished with the regional level. We are going to the national level. All people, especially from and within Volta region, all we have to do is to put all hands on deck. Let's support our regional chairman and his team, and then indeed we must break the eight with significant growth from Volta region as we have done in 2020, and I believe that we are going to get there.
He also commended the security for their professionalism exhibited.
From the beginning to the end, there was not even an incident of somebody stepping on anybody's toe. There was no complaint. Even to the point of counting, despite the delay, look at how swift everything went. Nobody complained. So transparent. Everybody was seeing it. When you are losing, you know that you are losing. When you are winning, you know that you are winning. And this was as a result of the commitment, the dedication of the kind of team that I have, my team members.
He asked all members to work hand in hand to support the chairman and the new executive to bring back NPP in 2024.
With the MPP, as the party has commended its supporters for a peaceful conduct during the regional delegates conference across the country. The party also congratulated all candidates who were successful in the elections and assured them of the party's continued support to all of them. Let's go to our video world now. And it says the constitution of the MPP provides in Article 9 that each region shall have a regional executive committee comprising 17 executives, 10 of whom are to be elected at a regional annual delegates conference and the remaining 7 to be appointed. Subsection 8 of Article 9 states that, quote, within 14 days of their election, the officers, that is, the elected regional officers, shall, in consultation with the National Executive Committee, appoint the regional officers who are required to be appointed under Clause 2 of this article, unquote. In accordance with this provision, the party is directing that the 10 elected regional executive officers in the regions that have held their conferences should take immediate steps in consultation with the National Executive Committee to effect these appointments. For the avoidance of doubt, the regional officers to be appointed include 1. Regional Financial Secretary, 2. Deputy Regional Organizer, 3. Deputy Regional Youth Organizer, 4. Deputy Regional Nasara Coordinator, 5. Deputy Regional Women Organizer, 6. Regional Communications Officer, and 7 Regional Research and Elections Officer. And let's shift our focus away from politics, as the family of the late Major Maxwell Mahama is unhappy about the slow process of the case in court. At the 5th anniversary of the killing of the soldier, Captain Dennis Mahama, who is the father, expressed dissatisfaction at the delay by the court. 5 May 2017, some residents of Dencho Obuasi in the Central Region allegedly mistook him for an armed robber and lynched him. The mob had ignored his persistent plea that he was an officer of the Ghana Armed Forces. Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama, following his sad passing, was posthumously promoted to the rank of Major on June 5 by President Akufo-Addo. In an interaction with the father of the late soldier, he expressed his dissatisfaction in delay of the court process, but was hopeful that justice will be served.
Definitely the delay is very worrying and not too good for us. It's been a very painful one, and one would expect that with all the video coverage, what happened in Dencho Obuasi, this shouldn't take that long. But what can we say? It's taking that long, and we just have to wait.
Does it give you any thoughts about our legal system here in the country?
Well, it's really very painful.
He also thanked the Akufo-Addo-led government for taking good care of the wife and kids of the late soldier.
The current government, his wife has been well employed, and she's undergone orientation here in Accra, and currently she's been posted outside.
May his soul continue to rest in peace. Now, the Institute of Education Studies says the Minister of Education is sidelining the Ghana Education Service in its operational activities. Executive Director of IFEST, Peter Ante, argues the ministry's continuous action is rendering the Ghana Education Service ineffective.
Basic school academic calendar is something that was very definite. So you know when you are going to school, you know when you are vacating. So recent times that we seem to have an erratic kind of academic calendar we are now talking about. The letter from the Director General of the Ghana Education Service clearly stated that he was not aware of any kind of training that has been planned for the teachers. Now, it beats anybody's imagination how we can train over 40,000 teachers in Ghana, and the whole Ghana Education Service Director General would not be aware.
3 areas he thinks the Ministry of Education is sidelining the Ghana Education Service. This is the worry of the Institute for Education Studies. According to the officials of the education think tank, the Ministry of Education is gradually adding the implementation mandate of the Ghana Education Service to its duties. IFEST argues that while the Ministry of Education has oversight responsibilities over all agencies, there are roles for these entities and they must be allowed to perform them.
There have been instances where there have been some kind of misunderstanding between the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education in terms of how policies are supposed to be implemented. The good policies that are being brought out by the government are having implementation challenges because the implementation body is not giving a free hand to do what they are supposed to do.
IFEST Executive Director, however, said the Education Ministry could consciously or unconsciously be doing this, and said any attempt to continue engaging in this could weaken the Ghana Education Service, and this will affect implementation of policies at the pre-tertiary level, citing the World Bank Gallup project.
One of the letters from World Bank dated February indicated that they expressed worry as to the extent by which we have slowed down the implementation of the Gallup project, because the Gallup project was supposed to help transform the Gallup schools. But as it stands now, the World Bank is even complaining about the slow pace of implementing the project.
He therefore called on the Minister of Education to ensure that there is proper coordination between the two entities, asking the President to step in if the need be.
We want the minister to show leadership to show leadership and ensure that what GS is supposed to do, they do it. So this is what we are bringing to the attention of the president, especially because every investment you make in education, you need to get the needed returns. So if you are investing in education all this while and you are not getting the needed returns, it means that the way you are implementing your policies are not how you are supposed to implement it.
Let's say a bit more on education, as the brouhaha over the $1.2 million Gallup money is yet to go away. A former education minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has disclosed that under his tenure, the Ghana Education Service did not undertake the teacher training component of Gallup to warrant Ghana's claim for $1.2 million from the World Bank. Objective of improving the quality of education in low-performing basic education schools. It is also to strengthen the education sector's equity and accountability in Ghana. The project was launched in 2018 and was jointly funded by the World Bank Department for International Development and Global Partnerships for Education. However, the project was relaunched in May this year, and the World Bank gave out $1.2 million for 40,000 teachers to be trained. The minority in Parliament demanded a probe into the allegations that the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, had embezzled the funds meant for the training. Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, in a response to the allegation claims, stated that the information going around was untrue and that the $1.2 million the ministry received from the World Bank is in the ministry's account. The former education minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, said he did not undertake any such training under Gallup. This is the former Minister for Education trying to explain some issues during his tenure at the ministry. One, under his watch as Education Minister, the Ghana Education Service did not undertake the teacher training component of Gallup to warrant our claim for the said $1.2 million from the World Bank. Two, the digital teacher training under the KA Technology Teacher Laptop Program must not, under any circumstances, be confused with the Gallup Teacher Digital Literacy Training Program and the National Teachers Council. KAT Digital Training isn't a substitute for Gallup training. These are two different training programs. He concluded by saying that, 3, as Education Minister, he, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, negotiated both programs and know that they are not the same. Now, 6 Ghanaian journalists are in France for a week-long educational exchange program sponsored by the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs through the French Embassy here in Ghana. My colleague Eugenia Akofa-Kumi is one of the participants and joins via Zoom from France. Eugenia, bonsoir. What can you tell us about the program? Hello, Eugenia, can you hear me? Can you kindly unmute your microphone so that we can hear you? Hello, Eugenia? Right, so Eugenia Akofa-Kumi is our reporter here at Metro TV, and she's currently in France for that particular program. We're trying to establish connection with her, but it looks like the Zoom connection is not all the best. You're still watching News Now here on Metro Television. We'll be back after this break. You're welcome back. Let's take you back to France, where my colleague Eugenia Akofa-Kumi is there currently on an exchange program. Eugenia, bonsoir. Welcome to the show. What more can you tell us concerning that particular program?
Bonsoir, Ken. Ça va?
Très bien.
Bon. Well, as you said, it's an exchange program for journalists and bloggers from Ghana, Ghanaian journalists and bloggers who are here mainly to learn about the French culture, the French system, how media houses in France operate. And so today, our first port of call was an international or a French agency that promotes French companies or that facilitates the operations of French companies in other countries, as well as aid the entry of companies or entrepreneurs or businesses from other countries into France. It's called Business France. It's what you call the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority. They work hand in hand together with GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center. So that was our first port of call. And interestingly, Ghanaian companies are not a lot in France. According to the Director of Cooperation International, Mr. Philippe Yves Najo, Ghanaian companies are not a lot. And so they're working hard to ensure that, well, more Ghanaian companies come, although they have pockets of entrepreneurs, people doing petty businesses here, but the volume of Ghanaian businesses here is very low. Although they also do not have an office in Ghana, they're working at doing that to ensure that more Ghanaian businesses come, into the country. Also, we visited the French news agency, which is Agence France Presse. Right now, what they're doing is diversifying their content. So traditionally, they were online, now they do TV. And most importantly, one thing that, in this era of misinformation and what we call disinformation, they are trying to cross-check stories that go viral, particularly those that, make a lot of headlines across the globe.
Okay.
And so what they do is to fact check some of the comments, some of the news stories that, are thrown about. For instance, we were told that they recently conducted an exercise on Ghana and about our COVID fight and all that. It was interesting to know that some of the information that was put out there were inaccurate, but according to them, they reached out to the government and then they retracted. So right now,
I'm afraid for the sake of time, we'll have to end the conversation here. I want a Givenchy bag when you're coming back. Business News is next.
C'est sûr. Au revoir.
Business is next. In business tonight, the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori, has urged motor insurance companies to collaborate with the Ghana National Bureau to ensure speedy processing and settlement of cross-border claims in accordance with the Protocol and Convention for Motor Victim Compensation. The Commissioner was speaking at the 40th anniversary of ECOWAS Brown Card Insurance Scheme. Until its establishment, motorists had to apply for extension of geographical coverage of their motor policies to include the country being visited. The problem was compounded by the cumbersome means by which claims were processed, since there is lack of harmonization of the claim procedure and requirements between countries. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Thomas Mbomba, during the anniversary called for settlement of bottlenecks, since it is crucial to the attainment of AFCTA.
The free movement of goods and persons is a key pillar of ECOWAS. Thus, the successful implementation of ECOWAS Brown Card Scheme in Ghana constitutes a very important component in achieving the regional integration dream.
Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori, says his outfit will soon digitalize the process for prompt payment.
But we know that there are some fake brown card stickers out there. So how do you do it? We want someone in Nigeria, if a Ghanaian vehicle is involved in Nigeria, the police in Nigeria should be able to use a shortcode. I've had this discussion with the new executives of the Brown Card Secretariat, that they should be able to pick a phone and dial it to a shortcode and know whether the brown card given them is authentic or not. So we need to move and go borderless, where with IT, there's no boundaries. You get me? We do business across borders with IT. That we need to go digital.
Henry Bukari is the chairman for the Ghana National Bureau.
We have what we call the Issuing Bureau and the Handling Bureau. If a truck hits your car from Burkina Faso is the Issuing Bureau. They issue the policy to the Burkinabe truck to come into Ghana. If there is an accident, the Ghana Bureau will handle it. That's what we call the Handling Bureau. We will do everything from the beginning of the registration of the policy till you are paid. Ghana is the first country, I think, followed by Cote d'Ivoire, that is implementing the automatic issuance of brown card. What this means is that anytime you buy your insurance, your motor insurance, be it third party or comprehensive, you get your brown card automatically. You don't need to pay a dime for it. It is part of it. The issue has been of education.
According to him, the awareness about the ECOWAS Brown Card Insurance Scheme has been on the low. Hence, it's working to ensure that motorists in the SAP region come to terms with it. The 6th CEO Ghana Summit has been held at the Kempinski Hotel. Let's take a look.
To consider which affect the list.
It's got a leading position as far as the digitalization agenda is concerned. But I think that we, in Africa and in Ghana, we have to put in place the systems that will allow this economy to transform. And those systems are going to be put in place through digital transformation. All the things that we are working on, so that when we finish, you'll have an engine that is going to drive the new growth. I'm very optimistic about the future, because we are putting in place the right system.
You're still watching Newsnight. After the break, Phil John Korte, who suffered a heartbreak after Liverpool lost, will be here tonight with the latest in sports. Stay with us.
My name is Phil John Korte, and it's time for sports. Let's focus on the Ghana Premier League because match day 31 of the Premier League ended at Accra Sports Stadium this afternoon with the Phobians picking a point with Karela United. Let's see the highlight.
Pressure is not cleared, not just yet. They come forward once again. Long one this time. Montari manages to pick up the pass very well. He's still going forward. He sets up that long cross, brought down nicely in the 18-yard box. The twist and turn!
Strike. Mutari with the cross. The control, not the best, but when it matters most, look at the turn and the finish on the foot. They seem to have a little bit of control on the ball. Karela.
Randolph. Through the middle, and they are back in the game. Constant probing. And for those jubilating, you know where they belong.
And rally back. Just look at the control. Mensah here with the pass. And Randolph did very well. Look at that pass. Perfect. He laid down, sat on the plate.
I think miscommunication. Look at the defensive shape, the way they were standing. It was very bad. There should be a good covering at the same time. When you are giving a cover up, there should be a balance. You cannot be giving a covering while there is no balance. That was how it went. Then we decided to concede this cheap goal.
It was tactical, as you know. We saw how the game was going, and we needed certain players. And again, as I said, one of our biggest challenges this season is the way we concede goals. Looking at the goal we conceded and the time was bad. You know, we have tried to work on it. At a point in time, it stopped. It has started again. Against Kingfisher, we conceded a very silly goal. Today it has happened. But on a whole, I think that we did well. Because playing against certain quality players, like hard players, Suli and the rest, and also we have very young team, we were able to match them. And the second half changes, I think it was tactical. Tactically, I think we were strong. That is why we were able to get a 1-1.
Well, away from Ghana, let's go to the United Kingdom and focus on Chelsea because the TED-led investment firm has completed the purchase of Chelsea.
The Todd Boehly-led consortium have completed a £4.25 billion takeover of Chelsea and ended Roman Abramovich's 19-year ownership of the club. After months of negotiations, the deal was finally approved on Wednesday morning when the government received legal guarantees that Roman Abramovich, who has had his UK assets frozen, will not benefit from the sale. The proceeds from the sale will be frozen in a UK bank account until the government has received further assurances that the money will solely go to support humanitarian causes in Ukraine. Russian-Israeli billionaire Abramovich put Chelsea, which he purchased in 2003, up for sale on March 2, a week after Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine on February 24. The takeover ends his 19-year ownership of the club and will see Los Angeles Dodgers co-owner Boley become Chelsea's controlling owner, even though California investment firm Clear Lake Capital will assume the majority shareholding. It is reported the new owners plan to invest £1.75 billion into the club, placing the overall takeover value at £4.25 billion. Since Abramovich was sanctioned, Chelsea have been unable to sell or sign players or offer new contracts, but now that the takeover is complete, those restrictions will be lifted.
That's it for sports. My name is Phil John Quartier. Studio is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Phil. Entertainment news is next. My name is Esiodua Akumia. The nominees' announcement of the maiden edition of Ghana Music Awards France took place on May 29 at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Accra. The event was well attended by all and sundry from the creative industry.
The 29th of May 2022 was the nominees' announcement of the first edition of Ghana Music Awards France. The theme for the maiden edition is portraying Ghana through music. Some of the categories that were unveiled are Nation International Collaboration of the Year, Unsung Artist of the Year, Video of the Year, Producer of the Year, EP of the Year, Artist of the Year, and many more. Stakeholders in the creative industry were present at the event. Her Excellency Annie Sophie Ave, Ambassador of France to Ghana, who greatly made this event possible, had some words to share as she will finally be leaving Ghana in a few months.
I think this initiative of bringing Ghana music to France and doing Ghana Music Awards, like there was some for the UK, and doing Ghana Music Awards France means that Ghana music is coming into France. When I arrived in Ghana, I discovered the Ghanaian music, and I didn't know anything about it. Yes, I grew up in a very musical home, but you know, I grew old, and then I was listening to the news more than to music. But when I arrived here and I realized the amazing talents that you have, every single song becomes a hit.
The event is slated to happen on July 23rd, 2022, Toulouse, France.
Now, away from that, Hollywood star Johnny Depp awaiting a ruling in a U.S. defamation case involving his ex-wife and actor Amber Heard made an unannounced guest performance at a rock concert in the northern English city of Sheffield on Sunday, May 29. Depp appeared with English guitarist Jeff Beck to perform a series of music covers, including John Lennon's Isolation, a track they collaborated on and released in 2020. But that's it for entertainment news. My name is Esiodua Akumia.
Thank you very much, Esiodua. International news is next. Police have clashed with protesters in Armenia. My name is Kenneth Jesse. On behalf of the entire team led by Bryce Nanakwesi Ameni, thanks for watching. Have a good night.